So that's been cool to work with Tyler Perry down at Tyler Perry Studios, and I did an independent project that I'm still trying to sell. I did that last year, and that was the best thing because I did it myself, and it was a passion project.
So tell us a little bit about that, or can you tell us about that?
It's just, the show is called Naeem. It's a self-titled show. It's a dramedy, loosely based on my life, and then like I have characters from my family, and those characters are like written specifically about those people in my family. And it's just a funny show, man. It's a lot of drama in it too. It's so many twists and turns, so it'll be hard to explain right now. So
that's dope,
look out for. And that's just acting. As far as stand up, man, I've been around the world, so that's been huge for me.
What is because I love greatness, man. I love champions, and I love anybody who is dedicated to their sport or their profession. What is your process like when you're getting ready to hit the stage? What's your writing process? What is your process when you get ready to get it? I know you probably get butterflies. You still get butterflies when you get ready to go on stage? Like, is that
it depends on what the show is.
Yeah.
If it's if I'm filming something, like I'm filming a special, then I'll be nervous as hell because I know that, and even if I'm doing 2 shows, that this is something that's going to be out there forever. So we have bad shows at any given time. You don't want it to be that night when you're filming, Yeah. So, and I shouldn't be nervous, compared to Jamel. I know you're a boxer. I know when you putting in the work in the gym for them 2 months training for a fight.
Right.
And you can still be nervous in the lights, but you really shouldn't be because you're
really ready,
prepared.
I think it's one of those things where like we get butterflies because we know what we need to do. But I think for me as a fighter, I always think about more of my execution. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I know, like I've been in this environment. I know what I gotta do, but I'll be so more focused on my execute my game plan to where I'm not taking a step back and doing what I gotta do to elevate me forward within my career. So I understand where you're coming from with that as well.
I ain't gonna lie. I had to take some Pepto-Bismol my first game in Nebraska. I'm gonna be real, bro. I was about to do it on myself, bro. 90,000 people is 90,000 people, no matter how you.
Right.
So I think.
I think once you get that first hit,
once you're ready, once you get that first hit, it's like, okay, we're in the game. Like everything we practice.
Get that tunnel vision. Vision. That's it. That's it.
We locked in. So man. Well, that's dope. I definitely wanted to touch on that because just talking about all the fighters and the champions, that we gonna talk about. There is something with preparation, and then just rolling into preparation. We got some fighters who getting prepared for some big moments. One that I want to touch on now is David Benavidez. How do you feel about his fight that's coming up here against David Morrell? How do you think? What's your take on that?
Benavidez is so solid, bro. He's an elite fighter in my opinion. I hate when a boxer moves up a weight class and that first fight is a challenge because then you like, maybe he not who he thought he was. Like the dude he fought a rugged dude, but
when
he fight David Morrell, who's another rugged dude, we're gonna see who really about that. But the same thing when Bud went up and fought.
The same thing.
Because you're not really familiar with that guy, but Majramov was an Olympian. He's a tough competitor. So sometimes you got to see them fight somebody else to have the respect for what your guy did in that fight against them. But I like Benavidez a lot, man. I hate that Canelo won't fight him. I don't see nobody really beating him, but David Morrell, he got a lot of hype behind him, so we're gonna see.
No, yeah, I think it's a solid matchup. It's a pretty even matchup. Like it's two different styles. Don't get me wrong, but again, it makes for both styles and personalities and just the mindset of the fighters. It makes it for great boxing. So I think it's a good matchup, and it's kind of like, and honestly, it's kind of one of those pick 'em type fights. Like for me, I'm definitely behind Benavidez. Saying David. David's also a good friend and cool dude. But I know what David Morrell brings to the table as well. And the same thing, he has the amateur pedigree. He's won a world title in a short time span. So again, it's one of those matches where again you're seeing champion versus champion at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie, Morrell don't look scared now. Morrell was at that green screen ready to go right there.
Yeah.
Morrell don't look like he got no fear, bro.
Man, Benavidez, I always thought he was tough, but Boo Boo Andre was one of my favorite boxers. Yeah. And I was excited for that fight. So I'm like, this is a fight to where he can finally get some respect if he wins.
Yeah.
You know, that O was kind of like, yeah, he undefeated, but he ain't got nobody on the resume.
Right.
Benavidez just destroyed him.
Monster.
He's different. He's just different, man. Now, like I said, a monster. He's just different.
And for the 47 that's currently watching live, we will be having David Benavidez on in a few days. So if you are a fan of Bet On Yourself, make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe. We will be having David Benavidez on to tell us his side as well. So, also big fight coming up. We got Bivol versus Better Beef. How you feel about that?
That first fight was, I said I was going to watch it again because I didn't see every round. I came in kind of in the middle. I felt like Bivol was controlling the fight. But see, one thing about boxing, the winner is not who was winning at the end of the fight. In a street fight, whoever was getting beat up at the end, lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoever get caught on tape.
That would be. It would get that last good look in, and your ass don't get back up.
Right.
Fight over. That's me.
So because it's points, it's always. Sometimes it just don't look the way it was. But when I watched it, what I did see, I felt like I felt like Bivol was winning.
Right.
But he looked damaged at the end of that fight, and he didn't complain about the loss either. So that's another thing.
It was, I mean, it was a toss-up. Honestly, if I'm being honest, like I said, I'm not biased with it. I thought Better BF was going to be, like I said, the dude he won it. For one, he's undefeated. He's undefeated, but he won every fight by knockout. So I was thinking that he was going to go in there, and surprise people with something and put him out. But to Bivol's credit, he held his own, and it's one of those matches where honestly it could have went either way. It all depends on what the judges were looking at and what the judges like at the end of the day. But again, it's one of those matches where like we spoke last a few days ago, it has to happen again because that first fight wasn't a clear-cut winner, but it was a good fight. So it's always good to have a rematch and see however it goes down the second time around.
Yeah. And me personally, I feel like Bivol won. I feel like he did enough to come out victorious. It's just, this time around, I think he might even look to stop him now. Trying to stop Bitter Beef is crazy to say. But I feel like that's what he got to do because just looking at boxing,
he ain't feel no fear.
They're not going to give you the decision, bro. If you go and fight the same fight you fought, you're not getting the decision.
But you got to be smart. But you got to be smart. You got to be smart because
you got to be smart.
He's still dangerous. You go in there and get reckless if you want, and it'd be an early night. So he still got to go. He still probably at the end of the day, he still got to go do what he got to do. And maybe take chances, but he gotta be smart. It's cool to take chances. It's cool to know when to step on the gas, but it's also cool to, boxing is offense, defense. You know what I mean? So you gotta play both parts. You gotta just know when to cut it on, cut it off. And, and then also pay attention to everything that's going on in that ring because you want to, like I said, at the end of the game, you still want to bank in rounds because both fighters it may go to a decision again. So you still want to go in there and bank rounds, but you definitely don't want to leave any doubt while you're doing it with the judges again or whatever.
I think Better BF will win by stoppage in this second fight because I feel like he saw how he had him at the end of the fight, and maybe he'll step on the gas earlier in the next fight. And Bivol also know I took a lot of damage, kind of had me hurt, so he might be fighting a little more cautious. I don't think he's gonna come out being aggressive. I think Better BF will be more aggressive.
You think so?
Yeah.
And maybe this is just too much of me being around somebody like Bud, but I knew Bud going into that fight with Spence. He knows you're fighting on a one fight, maybe two. It was supposed to be two, but as we've seen, it wasn't a 2-fight contract. It was a 1-fight contract with BBC. You're going into these people's backyard. You got to stop this man. So knowing that Bivol, you just went in there, you fought a clean. ish fight. If he don't come out there and try to stop him, I don't see him getting the decision. So maybe he does try to stop him, and like you said, Jamel, he put himself in harm's way and he gets stopped. But I feel like the only way is you can't let it go to 12.
In this sport, you gotta take chances. I felt like for instance, you seen how the fight went down with the second fight with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. That was a fight I was pulling for Katie Taylor because I thought, after the first fight, she had the more of the confidence boost going into the fight. And then we seen what happened with Amanda Serrano's fight with Puerto Rico and the eye injuries and things of that nature. So I thought just mentally, Katie was just better prepared. But Amanda Serrano came in there and showed out. And I thought she did enough to, even got the victory. But even though she lost, on paper both fights, I would still like to see, even because of how close it was, even if she took both losses in those fights, those type of fights that I would like to see again, even for a third time to close it out. I mean, you look at how many times Manny Pacquiao and Marquez fought before Marquez finally got that solid victory. Back in 2012, December 8th or 2012 or whatever, the Marquez finally got that decisive victory that he was looking for. So again, when it's good rivalries and good matchups, I don't think people really complain as well how many times they see these fighters fight each other because they know every time they fight they're going to get a good show.
Yeah, so I watched most of that Serrano fight against Katie Taylor, and I felt like Katie Taylor. It was once she cut her eye, everything was just exchanging, right. And I felt like Katie Taylor was winning those exchanges. I felt like Serrano was swinging a little wide, and Katie Taylor kept it inside. And I commented on one of the posts, and they was dragging me so bad I had to just delete my comment. It was killing me. I said, all right. Let me get out of here.
Appreciate you, Gail. I see you, Gail. Appreciate you. But yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta be careful what you saying with these fights, bro.
Look, I was just gonna say, if you're anything like me, bro, I'm locked out of Twitter right now because me and Bill was going back and forth. So my Twitter account, I can't even like or comment right now, bro.
Hey, shout out to Bill Haney, man. Hey, Bill,
shout out to Bill, bro.
Be cool, Bill. If you could, I'm gonna have to get you on the show, Bill, for real, man.
Yeah.
You must have been going in. You got locked out of Twitter.
Got you right now, Bill. Know what time it was, bro. You can't be out here pimping and stealing wins in Mexico, and now you talking about you trying to just be a great father. Man, we ain't trying to hear all that, bro. We know who you is, Bill. And I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, dog. One thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. Yeah. You can't just be trying to act like you just.
Man, he about to smoke. You don't care about family matters.
I don't care about none of that. Bro. I'm finna call a spade, bro. So yeah, I got blocked. It's all right.
You got blocked?
No, not blocked, but
blocked.
Yeah, blocked. Now he ain't blocked me.
I know Bill ain't do that. Bill, like, come on, bro. I know we ain't go that far with it, Bill. But
yeah.
Who's worse? Yeah. Who's worse, Bill Haney or LeVar Ball?
Nah, LeVar Ball got it, man. Listen, LeVar Ball he got millions of people. He got millions of people on his neck, yo. It's so bad. His sons can if they slip up, they going right back to LeVar in his shoes. Like,
right.
One of them already blaming for his knee that it was because of the shoes. So you know what I'm saying? Big baller, like. So yeah, now LeVar got it. He was on all types of platforms from ESPN all over, speaking his mouth.
What about T.O. father, Bill Haney or T.O.
Junior? I don't know. That's kind of.
I feel like
T.O.
Bill probably. T.O. father, bro. T.O. father, like.
Nah, I think Bill got it.
T.O. is doing his dad a favor by letting him still be around. Because sometimes, like, T.O. dad just be talking and like.
But he said who got the bigger mouth pretty much out of the two. I feel like Bill still got it. Junior going to talk. Junior going to talk when it's time to build the fighter. That's how I look at it. Junior going to talk at the fighter meetings because like I said, I commentated T.O. Femo's fight with Josh Taylor. So I've been around T.O. a lot. Me and T.O. have many talks, and I had conversations with Junior. Junior could be real quiet and chill. Mm-hmm. Bill too. Like I said, I had one-on-one talks with Bill, but Bill, he always going to be out there in front of the, in front of the audience, in front of the camera, or he going to be on that. He will be out there tweeting or whatever. But you don't really see much from Junior unless it's time for like you catch him on camera when it's fight week or whatever.
Bill trying to pay for them buffs, dog. Bill got them buffs on. Bill said he talking.
He said Floyd Schofield Jr.
That's
a good one. That's a good one though. Floyd Schofield Sr. He catching up, man. He out there. He talking crazy.
Bill was making people not like Dev though. I don't feel like there's nothing to not like about
that. A lot
Dev.
of these fathers like that. I mean, at one point, listen, my man Danny Garcia, cool dude, laid back, quiet.
Yeah.
Right. When he had Angel out there, listen, go back. Listen, everybody watching. All y'all gotta do is go back to when Danny's about to fight Amir Khan. Y'all see how ugly that guy. That was mainly Junior doing all the talking and crazy mess, and Danny was just laid back like it is what it is. But yeah, I get what you're saying. These fathers making it hard for their sons out here because, like I said, Floyd Schofield Senior, yo. If Floyd Schofield Jr. is quiet, but Senior,
I haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen him yet.
Floyd Schofield, the one with the dreads. He got the dreads.
You missing out. No, you missing out on the show.
Yeah, you gotta go follow.
You missing out on the show. Listen. Yeah. All you gotta do is go to Kid Austin. Listen, that's the crazy thing about it. Go to Kid Austin on Twitter. Mm-hmm. It ain't Kid Austin. It's Big Austin, whatever you want to call it. It's Pops on there speaking, you know what I'm saying, running his mouth and doing what he's doing. But he talks his way with Shakur. So it does work. It does work when it's necessary. So, you know what I'm saying? He talked his way into the fight with Shakur to where he even put the pressure on Oscar De La Hoya of saying, listen, you might not think we're ready, but I know my son, and this is what we want. So this is what we're going to do next. I don't want no other fight but the Shakur Stevenson fight next. So I respect it. But again, you watch what you ask for.
And I mean, just like you said too, I don't like the fact that sometimes it do lean over on the fighters. Me personally, I don't think Devin is as great as some people try to make him out to be. I think he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's like the best at 135.
I've never heard nobody really say he was great. I like Dev because he won all the smoke.
Before he lost to Ryan, a lot of people were saying that he was the one of the
it'd be usually the fighters' fan bases. It'd be the fighters' fan bases for the most part. Like I said, I actually was in training camp when I was watching Devin prepare for the Ryan Garcia fight. So I actually got to see it up close and personal. And like he really be putting in the work, you know what I'm saying? Like he can fight, he can fight, he's a good boxer. But I get what you may be saying. People define the word great. I understand that point. But again, he's not a bad fighter. And I think also, he just gets a lot of slack for the way how things have turned out with this whole Ryan Garcia situation. So now, you know, he gets not just that, the bulk of what happened with that fight, but also, you know, with his father saying this, that, and the third. So Devin gets a lot of hate right now. But at the end of the day, he still wants to fight the best out there. And it is what it is.
Yeah, Dev, I mean, I never see him talking crazy. He just wants he cares about his legacy.
Right.
Then he get knocked out, and people was happy that he got knocked out. And then they found out he cheating, and people mad at him.
He didn't get knocked out, but I get what you say. He got dropped a couple of years.
He get knocked out.
Right.
He got dropped enough times.
Yeah.
And people was mad at him after Ryan Garcia cheated. How you mad at him?
Man, listen, that tells you how much people just don't be rocking with you, man. You really,
sometimes
you really gonna see people true. Like
I think it's difficult too because, like I said, I came from a team sport, and you have them radical, crazy fans, but they cheering for 50 people that's on the roster or 100 people that's on the roster. When you a boxer, you the only one that's going in there. So you know, good, bad, or ugly, it's all on you. So I think you put your stepping into a sport like that, you're putting yourself in a tough position because if you win, people gonna hate. If you lose, people gonna hate. It's about you keeping them blinders on and just focusing on yourself, your sport, and being great. And I mean, you know, it can only be so many greats. Like being great is like it ain't no easy shit to be a Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. Like
right,
that shit ain't easy. So
yeah,
that's real. That's real. Well, yeah, man. So moving to the next topic. You know, Oscar Valdez. You know, I know we talked last time. You know, is it time for him to?
You already shaking his head like, yo.
What you think, man? Is it time for him to move on? What do you need? He need to go sell cars. What do you need to do, bro?
Man, that was just a complete mismatch, bro. Like Navarrete, Oscar was trying to throw some haymakers. He was just walking through all of that. It looked like that looked like a fight that you have when you coming up the ranks. That didn't look like two stars or two people or 1 and 2 in a division or whatever. That was he beat him up, man. Then he knocked him out with a body shot. Whenever a fighter get knocked out with a body shot, and I get it, you know. I know the body will crumble sometimes, but I always question the conditioning. You know what I'm saying?
I want, you know what I want to say right there, and like I said again, I know I was a guy that wanted to fight Valdez when he was coming up because I had the WBO title at 130. He had at 126, and he came up, but he chose to go a different route. I respected that. I spoke with his management and spoke with his team, and I respected that. You know, they went to go fight Pachelt, and even after he beat Pachelt, I still wanted that fight, but I had to deal with the whole Shakur thing. So I'm not here to hate on Oscar. I'm gonna just say this though, like that man been in so many wars though. Like when you mention his body, you don't know how much how much he probably put his body through the years. You know what I mean? So yeah, and once you like you point out, when you see somebody get hit with a body shot like that, and it's like, man, how much longer?
It didn't even look clean. It looked like he kind of hit him like it wasn't like this. It was kind of like it grazed him.
That was on the pocket though. That was on the pocket, yo.
Spot,
when you get hit, listen, when you don't got no abs to protect that, the way he got hit, there's no. You can have all the abs in the world, but you get hit right between them. Man, listen, it's gonna take it out of you, man. like Oscar's defense, I just feel like like again, the man just been through a lot throughout his career. We also don't know how he's been taking care of his body outside of the ring as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like for me. I felt like the best weight class for him was featherweight. I know he did what he had to do to get the belt at 130, but I think with that fight, it was just the right time, right place at the right time. But afterwards, like the fights just got harder for him at that weight because he doesn't have the height. He doesn't put on a bunch of weight after the weigh-ins, and you see how big Navarrete was like twice the size in there. Yeah, it was huge in there.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Oscar, like you said, Oscar done been through a lot of wars, bro. Like, and I just don't want nobody to not be able to hold their grandkids when they 56, 60 years old, 70 years old. Like, the punishment that you take, bro, you can only take that punishment for so long. Bro.
The man had a broken jaw a few years ago. He went to that man been through it all, man. Like, yo, if he decides that he want to hang it up, I don't think anyone's gonna knock him for that. If he decides. If he want to come back and continue his career, he got his team. Like I said, the team just got to pick the fight a little bit smarter, or he has to make a decision if he's going to stay at 130 pounds or go back or try to go back down to featherweight.
Well, the bad thing about a boxer like him, who's been in wars and fought a lot of people and some good competition, I'm sure his salary doesn't match the work that he's put in. You know what I mean? The money that he's made. He's never really been a prize fighter. And lower weight classes, sometimes that money just ain't there. So retiring right now for him, and if he didn't make the right investments, what, he 33?
Right.
Yeah, 33 years old.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it may not be many big fights out there for him. So he kind of like in a tough space.
I mean, just like Kevin Jackson just said, Oscar Valdez and Camboas get the most chances in the world. So
I've been saying that.
Somebody gonna
be saying that. I ain't, but I've been saying that. But hey, get your money, man. Get your paper. But again, yeah, it's one of those things where we made a good point. I am like, you don't want to, like, you got to make the right fights because at one point these promoters, they'll sell you to one of these young cats coming up, and that could turn out bad too. We fighting one of these young, hungry. Dude that's pissing, vinegar out here, that wants your spot. It could be, that could be bad too. So like he really got a lot to think about moving forward with that.
Yeah, that's facts.
One thing I'm gonna swing on real quick that I was looking at. We gotta go because like I said, there's still boxing. We gotta speak about this with the influences, and I'm not even mad on this topic. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad at the influences. Like I'm not mad at the Jake Paul's world, but I'm looking at guys like Tommy Fury, who keeps calling out Jake Paul. Like bro, like you keep claiming you a real fighter. Every time I look, you keep trying. Like I know for one, boxing is big in the UK. I know, like I said, it's huge over there in the UK. And like they take the sport really serious, like those sports fans are dedicated. So it's like you got rivals over there in the UK, but every time I look, you get on. The only time you want to hop on social media is when you want to call it a Jake Paul or KSI or someone. And I get it. It's the money is good, but at the same time, you can't. You might as well just say you might. in my opinion, I think Tommy just might as well say that he's an influencer because I haven't seen on one try to fight. You know, what I'm saying anybody real in the boxing world. That's just my opinion.
Man, he got that check. You know,
and couldn't look back. I get it. He couldn't look back.
Yeah, he's not trying to go back. Cause I be looking at the Jake Paul fights as like Rocky. It's shit like fictional. Like, you know,
it's WWE. Like I feel like we all grew up with Stone Cold and The Rock. Yeah. And imagine if you could.
You did. I grew up with Hulk Hogan, but yeah.
For sure. On me, my bad.
The 80s babies.
I ain't gonna lie. I had Rey Mysterio in them. I had Rey Mysterio and Rikishi in them. But I think imagine if we could have had a Mike Tyson fight as the undercard for a Hulk Hogan versus what was somebody that was big during that time versus a Rock or somebody like that, or the Undertaker, you know what I'm saying, or Andre the Giant, you know what I'm saying? You got Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan as the main card. Like that's what I feel like it is now. I feel like they take
but those matches were scripted. That last fight, it could have been scripted too. I don't know what Mike was doing. I love you, Mike.
Bro, if you even look at the fight that he fought with Tyron Woodley, bro, do you really think he knocked Tyron Woodley out like that? Like, just keep it real.
I don't know, man.
Do you really think he
moving? He wasn't moving.
He probably was, but
he was.
At some point we gotta realize that when that show is over and they roll them credits and you see executive producer and you see producer and somebody is writing the script.
Yeah, but I mean, if that was the case, then he wouldn't have lost to Fury. You know, he would be undefeated still.
What did we all love when we was watching WWE? What did we love when we was watching WWE? You used to, give me the fireworks for this motherfucker.
Listen, bro. I'm with Naeem though. Like, if that was the case, he damn sure shouldn't have. But I got on Tommy's ass too. Like, bro, you basically, in my opinion, you went life and death with these guys, man. Stop. You might as well just be an influencer boxer. You're never gonna be, and there's no disrespect, but let's be real. You're never gonna be Tyson Fury. You're never gonna be like your brother. I don't think you'll be like your father. To be real. So it's like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But stop going out here saying that you're a real fighter and you're a real boxer. When I see the British fans, they constantly calling you to fight, you know, one of your own. And it's like you keep making excuses or you keep ducking this guy and that guy who's a real fighter. But then you want to keep calling out guys who really don't got much business being in the ring, but just except for entertainment.
Well, I will say this before we change the subject. Naeem, you a writer. The best thing about stories is when it don't go how you thought it was going to go. So with Jake Paul, they writing a story for him. Yeah, he was supposed to lose. At some point, you want to see him lose because then now you've seen him lose. And then if you walk a Mike Tyson in there, he's lost before. And if he going to lose to anybody, he going to lose to our champion, Mike Tyson. And that fight happened right after what? Right after the election.
I ain't take that fight seriously, bro. They had 14-ounce gloves on. They didn't even have 10-ounce gloves on for starting. It was 2-minute rounds. It was 2-minute rounds.
Money.
That's I don't. They say that is entertainment. Like I'm done even looking at that fight. Like that fight, it is what it is. They both, like, he did Mike Tyson a favor. They made a hell of a lot of money together, and I respect that on the business side. But like in terms of like everyone else that claims they're real fighters and calling these guys out, it's like you want to get paid. I respect that, but just say that. Stop making something like, I own you. I'm in your head. Like, bro, you for the influence. You for the YouTuber. Cut it out.
But I feel like Jake could start at the bottom and work his way up the rankings.
He can.
Yeah, like
he ain't trying to do
he's going to the money already. He's making the money no matter who he fight. But if he started fighting boxes and fought them tomato cans that people fight in their first 8 to 10 fights and really got some experience, then I mean he getting a little older now, but I think that he could be a respectable boxer.
We got to remember where this guy came from.
He has gotten the attention of the WBA. The WBA is talking about him fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for one of their belts. I don't know if it's a regional title or a secondary belt, whatever, but at the same time, it's a belt that's going to get him ranked, you know what I'm saying, to fight for a legitimate world title. So he's definitely, you know, like Kevin said, he's definitely one of the smartest out here because the way he's moving, you know, at his own pace and at his own rhythm, He's getting the fights that he wants. He's getting the paydays he wants. And again, people, I hate to say it, but people like us, we're still talking about it. We're still talking about him.
I would love to see him fight Chavez Jr. By the way, Chavez Sr. need to get a DNA test. That ain't his son. That boy don't look nothing like him, about 2 feet taller than him. That ain't his son.
We need Mario on the next episode.
Hold on, we're gonna, like I said again, man. Let me go to the next one. I see one of y'all pointed out Abdullah Mason. I see that he's coming back in February. What do y'all feel about that? And what do y'all see? How y'all see his career is moving? Because I know his last fight, he had a little hiccup, but again, he got out, got the job done. So that's all that matters. What y'all feel about him in his future?
He's number 2 on my prospects. Number 1 is Keyshawn, but Abdullah Mason is exciting, bro. He got.
I can't not. You gotta put him at number 1 because I can't put Keyshawn in no more. I think Keyshawn is a legitimate. He's a contender.
Oh, he's a contender. That's fine.
Yeah, he's a contender now. Like he listen, he a mandatory for a major belt.
Okay.
That's not a prospect anymore. That's a contender now, and that's not a knock. It's a good thing. He got promoted. He done with that. So again, you know what I'm saying? I think like guys like Abdullah Mason and Carmel Moten, who I want to talk about also, because I see that he called out. Who he called out? He called out somebody recently, man.
He got 4 fights. He called out
Armando. How do you feel about how he came in way overweight, Naeem? Like, how do you feel about, like, do you feel like it was a business decision and he just was like, look, I ain't fighting this fight, I don't care what y'all say, or like, how do you feel about that?
Man, that was completely intentional. You come over 14 pounds overweight. I've never seen nothing like that. And you in the beginning of your career, like I feel like that's unprofessional. You got somebody that your opponent is looking to get paid and showcase their skills. I don't like shit like that, man.
Yeah, he came as a welterweight. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if he's gonna be at what I don't know if he's trying to fight at 130 much longer or even 35. I think 135 is still good. Crazy. Well, I think 135 is a good weight for him. But again, I see that, like I was saying, he called out Armando Vargas, one of the Vargas sons recently, who was 11-0. So he's trying to make up for how that incident played out. I think that's a good matchup for him. I know the Vargas they have a good, all 3 brothers, they have a good dynamic over there. Like I sparred a couple of them a couple of years back. But yeah, Carmel's definitely trying to make up for that clearly, but it happens. I mean, like I said, it's no excuse. It's no excuse at all. Like, you got to be professional at all times, no matter how old you are, how long you've been in the game. They expect you, especially when you came from the amateur. So, of course, you still had to make weight in the amateur. So, I get it. They want you to be professional, but he definitely got a lot of making up to do. And I think he's still trying to go in the right direction by constantly trying to step up with each fight.
He kind of takes a lot of shots. I know when you got 4-round, 6-round fights, you're trying to get him out of there, and you're gonna leave yourself open. But I want to see the whole package. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't feel like I'm getting from the hype that he has. I don't feel like I've seen that yet in his first fight.
Well, I got 2 questions for you before we get ready to wrap it up and get out of here.
Nah, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going.
Give me your top 5 fighters. First, I want to know your top 5 fighters all time, and then I want to know your top 5 fighters in the game right now. Give me the balloons in this month.
Top 5 fighters of all time. Floyd is number 1 for me. Bud is either 2 or 3, honestly, all time for me.
Yeah, talk that. Yeah, I'm with that.
And then Roy Jones in his prime. Man, I was thinking about this the other day. Lennox Lewis don't get the credit that he deserved, bro. Lennox Lewis got 2 losses. They was flashing out. They was knockouts, but they was like got caught slipping. And he got revenge.
He got revenge though. He came
back. That's what I'm saying. He got revenge though. He came back and showed that he was way better than those people that he got caught. He only got 2 losses. Lennox Lewis got to be in my top 5. When it comes to Muhammad Ali is my favorite person in the world. It ain't even the favorite boxer. So I don't even know where to put him. But And, I'll put him in the top 5, and then maybe one more. Somebody said Pernell Whitaker. Well, actually, that's 5. That's Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Bud Crawford, Ali, and Lennox Lewis. I think that's my 5.
I like that. What you got, what you got, Jamel, before we go to today? Top 5.
Sure. I mean, I still got a lot. I don't really got a top 5. I'll be here all day going over 5.
Yeah, you was like, man, I forgot somebody. Then
exactly. I'll be here all day. Like I got like for me, even just growing up watching, I got like the Oscar De La Hoya, of course, Floyd. Then you got the Shane Mosleys, the Bernard Hopkins. Of course, everyone probably has a Tyson and like even a Lennox in there. And I'm just looking at this 90s and 2000s era right now. Eric Morales is one of my favorites growing up watching, just because he had that dog and that grit. I still feel like the first fight with Pacquiao is one of my favorite fights to watch. I don't like to watch the second and third fight because of how it played out.
Time, right?
He beat Pacquiao in the first fight, and then Pacquiao got him in the next 2 fights. So with that one. So for me, I mean, like I said, just being a fighter, I can, because I always watch a lot of these guys from all different cultures and styles and things of that nature, like the Prince Naseems of the world and things of that nature. So I can go on forever about the guys that I respect and admire in the game. I even go back to guys like Joe Calzaghe. Just not because he didn't have the prettiest style, but he was a worker. You know what I mean? He was a worker. He didn't have knockout ability, but he damn sure was gonna outwork you in his fights. But yeah, like that's just like for me, you be here all damn day.
But
now, we got more topics too.
I got more topics. You got to go Jack Johnson in there. Jack Johnson opened the way. Especially for the ones that look like us, bro.
I'm gonna go Sugar Ray Robinson.
The Joe Lewis's and the Ray Ray.
Beating up a white man in the 20s, and the whole crowd.
Get your ass killed.
And you gotta walk out of there, bro.
That's when they was fighting like every 2 weeks.
Come on, bro. You gotta put Jack in there.
For 30 plus rounds.
Right.
Jack
30 plus rounds.
So,
but like I said, but I want to say again because I know we got 2 shows every week, so I want to get these topics too before we even wrap it up. Like I said, everybody's still tuning in. They're still tuning in. What y'all think about Conor Benn and Mario Barrios?
To be honest,
he took a lot of damage in that last fight. I mean, he comes out the fight, so he takes damage in a lot of his fights. But I'm not really familiar with Conor Benn like that. I haven't seen any of his fight. Well, I haven't seen any of his fights actually, so I can't say who I got on that. But Barrios, I don't think he had a belt for much longer.
Yeah, keep fighting like that. I know Abel Ramos, like his last opponent that he fought, because I fought Abel in the amateurs. Mm-hmm. So I trained with Abel and Jesus. Jesus Ramos, shout out to them in their camp. Shout out to them. Matter of fact, me and Karan's strength conditioning coach is actually trained to work with them, so we're very familiar with his opponent. So we knew, I knew personally what type of fight he was going to be in. But again, sometimes I feel like in the early rounds he was cruising. He was doing really well. Just that from the mid to late, he started took his foot off the gas, and that's when Abel started basically turning it up and finding his rhythm in his second win, and that's what made it hard for him in that situation. But in terms of Conor Benn, I haven't really been sold on him myself. Like I watched a few of his fights. I think I watched his last fight. I think he had it in Vegas with Dobson. But I watched that fight. But because of all the scandals, the PEDs and everything, it's one of those things where I don't know if he's real or if he had help in his system. It's one of those things. So I can't.
He's British, right?
Yeah. His father was a world champion.
Right.
Now, Nigel Benn. So there's legacy within that name, and of course, Eddie's going to try to push him out there to us as much as he possibly can. Especially, I think all his legal situations. I mean, someone out there in the UK can correct me, but I think with his legal situation got cleared up where he can fight now in the UK. Because at one point in time, he had a crazy ass long suspension. So that's why you didn't see him fight at all or anything up from because of that situation. But I think it's one of those fights. It's a toss up for me because again, it's like I said, it's one of those things where is Conor Benn the real? Is he real, or is one of the things where does Mario Barrios, can his body hold up? Because like you said, his face and everything was was through it in the last fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Mario Barrios. Just me personally, I had Abel winning that one, and I might have been a little biased because Abel my partner. But
Right.
yeah, I just feel like Mario Barrios, like he's a good boxer. It's like, everybody, like we said earlier, everybody can't be great. So if you're gonna be good, be as good as you can be. Conor Ben, I feel like he's a good fighter as well. I feel like that's just, to me, that's like the Browns playing the Jets. That's the Browns and the Jets. So it don't really matter who win that.
That sound like you said they both terrible.
Now, are y'all familiar? Are y'all familiar with I think it's pronounced Nahir Albright. He fought Keyshawn. I think he fought Keyshawn too, like it was a close fight. Man, I fought. Philly, I think it's from Philly, Philadelphia fighter. Somebody in the comments correct me if I'm wrong. But I see that he going back to Abdullah Mason, he had called Abdullah out. And like I say, I think he probably gave, at that point in time at least, he probably gave Keyshawn Davis one of his best task matchups, in my opinion, from the way it looked at that point in time. Then, of course, Keyshawn definitely elevated since that and learned a lot from that fight. But on paper, and from what we've seen, he kind of it was a decent scrap.
Let me ask y'all about a fight that's happening. I mean, it's not a sanctioned fight, but we got Greg Hackett versus Brian Norman Sr. I don't know if y'all seen that, if y'all familiar with Greg Hackett, but Greg Hackett, trainer big on YouTube. But how do you feel about these fights that, like, it's influencers, but these people not even influencers. These people that's fighting on the Wallow and Gilly card in Philly. Like, how do you feel about
that? Greg a fighter. Is the matchup we want to see?
He was a fighter.
It's a matchup we want to see. Obviously, especially when it comes to welterweight division. Clearly, not, of course. There's no knock. It's just one of those things where, because with Norman, we should have had the fight between him and Boots. So, of course, you look at it like, you gave up a life-changing payday for this type of fight, and people gonna knock you for it. But if it's one of the things where, okay, he handled his business, if he come out on top and he goes for one, it doesn't have to be Boost, but if he goes for another world champion, then I'm fine with that. But again, the welterweight division is one of those premier divisions that we all loved and grew up watching. So we always expected the bigger fights. But right now, it's at a point where these fights aren't even big or happening in the welterweight division. They're usually either at 140 or right now at 154, because before you and I got on, bro, we were just about to mention about Errol Spence, and Fundora being.
How you feel about that Spence Fundora fight, Naeem?
Did they even make it yet? Is it actually happening?
I think it's happening. I think it's official. I'm pretty sure it's official.
I don't think it's on the schedule on ESPN. I think it talks about it.
Said if it ain't on the schedule.
I'm just saying, listen, but if it is, I give Errol that, because he ain't fight since last year July, you know what I'm saying? So and then he's coming back into, you know what I'm saying, that's not like Fundora is not, it literally is a tall task. So it's not a fight, it's not an easy fight for anyone, but for him to jump back into the, you know what I'm saying, the fire and the big fight in the championship caliber at a new weight class now, you got to give him, you know what I'm saying, you got to give him respect. But I respect what Fundora, you know what I'm saying, what he did in his last matchup against Tim Tszyu to win that belt. I was actually in Australia when I was watching that fight take place, and that Australian crowd was not happy, but my man did what he had to do to get, you know what I'm saying, to get where he's at now.
I heard that Spence was saying after this fight, he's done. Have you heard that too? Like he's trying to get one more belt and then retire. He not trying.
I mean, you gotta. I mean,
I respect it.
When you've been through accidents, and you've been through Terrence Crawford. Now, I didn't just played around and wrestled with Bud before. I can just imagine if he's actually trying to take you out of here, bro. Like, like how bro face was looking, he looked like he needed this time off. So, like, I mean. At the end of the day, we all men. We got kids. I mean, we got kids. We got things that we trying to do. So I don't knock him if he is.
How much of that you think was humiliation, though?
Oh, a lot of it. I mean,
I think a lot of it. And I say that because I think a lot of it because, again, you gotta look at just Errol's base. His fan base, and there's nothing wrong with the fan base. You know what I'm saying? They really believe in Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? And it's like going into that fight. If you ask majority of people, you know what I'm saying, that know, that even watch boxing all the time, a lot of them favored, Errol.
Has Spence.
Yeah, Errol.
The better is known.
Yeah, I mean, this is how I feel about it, dog. If you are from Texas, you from a state where they damn near don't want to be a part of the United States, and you carrying that, and you coming into the fight with big extra plugs saying I'm from Texas and we on our necklace, like it's like you carrying that with you, and then you go and get. People know it's over before it's even over. It was really over by the 4th or 5th round. Like everybody knew how that fight was about to end. So the whole fight, you a fighter, Jamel. You looking outside them ropes. You can see people facing. So I'm sure some of that was humiliating.
Yeah, it's the mental, and it's more mental. It's more mental in there. It's like, but again, he wasn't giving up. But you could tell, like round by round, it was wearing on him. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it just from like for me. When I watch a fight, I don't just look what's inside the ring. I actually be taking time to look outside the ring in the crowd and see how their reaction is to everything. Like you said, you seen Jamel Charlo out there, for instance. You seen Bud going back up with him in between the knockdowns, and you know what I'm saying. So you can see when the crowd's reaction starts to change up things. That's when you okay, yeah, it's not the tides are definitely turning, and it's not looking good in their favor. But again, that doesn't mean that you take away that Errol Spence has done as a fighter. I mean, like I said, my favorite fight when I watched with him was when he went to the UK to fight Kell Brook. Because I was been a big Kell Brook fan. I was, what I'm saying, I watched the fight when Kell Brook, took the belt from my man Sean Porter. So, I've been watching Kell Brook since then. And you know what I'm saying, for Errol to go over there, enemy territory, you know what I'm saying, and do what he had to do and go out there and stop him. I felt that like he was a dog, and he did a lot. Even afterwards with Danny Garcia, the fight with Sean Porter. Errol, he set his legacy. So like going to what Naeem was saying earlier, if he decides where he wants one more fight and he's out, who's going to knock him for that? I feel like he's done enough to cement his own legacy in his own right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. The question was, do I think he's going to be Fundora? I think it's really going to depend on his mental. If he comes in and he still has that confidence that he once had, and he's a like Calzaghe. He's going to break you down throughout the fight, and he worked that body and all that. I think he has a good chance of winning. But the question is he going to be that guy? And how much did those knockdowns and the stoppage affect him to where, is he going to take a shot again? Because Fundora got some power. At least that's how it looks. And he's just a big, awkward dude. So I don't know, man. I would love to see that fight, but if I had to bet on it, I would probably take Fundora, but only because I don't know if Spence is going to be there mentally.
Well, we got 161 in the chat. We need at least three or four people. Let's hop up and tell us how y'all feel, man. Let's get.
Y'all didn't mention the other news that we've seen this week. Boots versus Teofimo.
Yeah.
Teofimo. What's your thoughts on that one?
How you feel about that, Naeem? How you think that fight play out if it happens?
I feel like Teofimo doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes, but that's because he don't always show. Sometimes I feel like when he fights somebody that boxes on the outside and really has a game plan, then he gets bored with that. He wants the action. But I feel like Boots is tailor-made for a competitive fight for him. Boots is going to come forward. I feel like T.O., if his power is going to translate up to 147, then he can have some success in that fight, but I still pick Boots to win. But I think it could be an entertaining fight.
I mean, that's kind of a, I don't know. Like, of course, I think majority would favor Boots, and I wouldn't be mad at that also because of the, just the dynamics going into that fight in terms of the size difference and that nature. But Teofimo has surprised us before. We thought he wasn't in the right mind space when he fought Josh Taylor, and we seen how that fight played out. That's probably like I said before.
He did surprise me there.
Yeah, like I said before, though. In the Lomachenko fight, I think the Josh Taylor fight was not only one of his best wins, but one of his best performances to date in his career. So I think it's like, of course, then when you see Teo fight somebody else, some like people like other fighters that you may not know as well, people feel like, it could be one of those things because it happens for fighters at times where they fight down to that level and then they don't look as great. So I think it's one of those things where if Teofimo has a tall order in front of him, and I think that's when he brings out his best. That's when he's going to bring out his best. So and plus, I don't know why, like I said, but I can understand why. Boots got a lot of heat for his last performance, whatever.
Last two.
They kept saying that his defense isn't as tight as they thought it was, whatever. So I think Boots got some things that he would like to prove. Saying that he is what people have been saying for the past few years up until that point. So I think it'd be a good fight for both fighters if they do decide to make that fight happen.
Yeah, Boots. I feel like he's just impatient, man. He's so big. He's trying to become a star so bad, and he's coming out trying to impress them, especially after what happened to Shakur in Jersey, where people was walking out. I feel like nobody wants that shit, So you ain't fighting for your hometown. Keyshawn, same thing. You coming out, you trying to be impressive, trying to get the stoppage, and if you don't, and because of that, you leave yourself open to have a bad performance, So he got to fight Tio respectfully.
Facts.
And if he bring out all his tools and he fight him respectfully, I think that he'll win that fight.
So how do you feel about Boots, like with the whole situation that's going on with Virgil? I tweeted something yesterday of the video of him right after his last fight. He said, hey, it's time for me to move to 154. He gets a fighter that's 154, and now it's I want to go get the belts back at 147. How you feel about that whole situation?
He just want to fight Bud. That's it. That's why he talking about moving to 154. I think he just really want that fight. But I feel like Virgil Ortiz would have been a great fight for him because his resume is nothing right now. So you fight Virgil Ortiz, another person that's undefeated, and you going up to 154, then you in line for a title fight after that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Like again, I thought that'd been a great opportunity, not only to have another good name on your resume, but also to make your entrance into another new division and fighting a guy like that. And if you did go out there and put on one of your best performances and win, it definitely would have elevated and called for a fight. Same with Bud. But I get what you're saying. Sometimes you can't just jump in front of the line until you basically put in the work to get there. So I feel you.
I think he whipped Virgil Ortiz's ass too.
Yeah, I think he would have. I think
that'd be a good one. Like I said, Virgil. I know people were getting on Virgil for his last fight too, but I don't think it'd be easy going for either man. Honestly, I don't think it'd be easy going for either man in that match.
I mean, I don't think it would have been easy. I just think it, like Naeem said earlier, if he would have fought him respectfully, then it would have turned out good in his favor. But if you go in there and you trying to impress the crowd and you trying to do your Bruce Lee shit and you trying to Virgil gonna take care of you, he gonna belt your ass. So I just feel like, it's just about how you approach it. Just me, dog, I'm from the South, dog. Your word is your bond. When you say something, you say something. So if you're in that ring and you say you want to move to 154, then you have a conversation with somebody that's at 154. You can't then come back in the car interview with somebody on YouTube and be like, "Nah, man, I ain't really say that. And what really was, I wanted."
He's not going to get that fight, by the way. He's not going to get that Bud fight. He might as well let that go.
He's not getting it. No,
he's not getting it.
But Bud ain't stepping in that ring for nothing less than 20, and I don't blame him because at the end of the day, people didn't want Bud to be in the position that he's in. So now he's in the position that he's in. He ain't finna turn that away from nobody.
And he old. I think that if some European dude got the other belt at 154, what I would like to see him do is unify 154. He'd be the first boxer to unify 3 weight classes. And then fight Canelo in the last fight, and maybe a 2-fight deal with Canelo if it's competitive. That's how I would like to see him go out. But he got to fight more. He's fighting once a year.
I mean,
to his credit, it wasn't his fault. And when he had the I know at one point he had the obligations to for a rematch with Errol. So that it was like kind of things where like they had to basically wait on both sides and make an agreement.
That drug on for 8 months.
That drug on for a hot minute. It was dragging on for a hot minute.
Almost a year.
So of course, you know what I'm saying, that took him out for quite some time. And then that's another thing also. I felt like, you know, like as fighters, as we get older, ring rust doesn't play a good thing for any of us. Even younger fighters, ring rust does not play a good for any of us, especially for older fighters. So with that being said, when everybody looking at Bud's live performance, you gotta understand that man hasn't been in the ring from that time until, for instance, the last fight was the Errol Spence fight. So you know, those things do, you know, take place and can affect your performance a bit. But a special fighter, you know what I mean, like Bud, obviously you have to make adjustments because when you watch the fight again, he made the right adjustments, and I felt like he felt that it was close, and that's when he started seeing him turn up a little bit more and more, like especially during those rounds that really counted down the stretch.
Matt Jamal was awkward. He came in. I think he didn't expect that type of movement from him and everything. And dude was just strong, solid dude. But
it's crazy though. Now they're saying it, but he's a good opponent. Before it was, who was this dude? He ain't nobody. Bud lost.
He had a belt.
Bud for the dude, 11 fights. Now all of a sudden, when they seen that before, well, I think he got sick or whatever recently. But his string of upcoming fights, you know, was nothing to laugh at. You know, he's still gonna come back to fight, you know, Virgil later on. So it's like it's crazy. It's a good opponent for Virgil, but you know what I'm saying, when it was Bud, and I get it, Bud and Virgil are two completely different, you know, levels, which you may want to say, but I'm talking about just him as a fighter. Now it was like, oh, he's a good fighter, and this, that, and the third, and he's a dog. But
you think he's gonna get the Canelo fight next? I seen Canelo said at the top of the year he's gonna talk to Turkey Al-Sheikh.
I think Turkey got the money to make it happen, man. I think he has the, not even just the money. Let's not even say that. Turkey has the relationships to do what it needs to be done for guys to feel comfortable and also feel like it's going to be a production. Because at the end of the day, boxing in today's world isn't just about the fight; it's about the experience. They gonna create an experience around this. So if it happens, it's gonna happen somewhere that has a big Mexican base. It's gonna be either in Dallas or LA or Vegas. And they're gonna make it.
What about Saudi?
What? No, what? The Errol? Bud and Canelo?
Only reason I don't see it happening in Saudi is because
Bud and Canelo?
I don't think it happens in Saudi.
Shit.
I mean, just because of
wherever that checkbook is open there, that's where that ain't gonna happen there.
Yeah, no.
Whatever that checkbook,
If his network of people, them other dudes that be having that clean white shit on with them hats, if they say they want it,
I don't think it even matters. I don't even think it matters where the fight gonna happen at. It's going. Listen. I don't think it matters. Listen,
it don't matter for sure.
It can happen in Washington State. It's still gonna draw. It's still gonna draw. But I can see. But I can see it from the way boxing's been going the last couple of years now. It could be over there in the Middle East. Of course, us, you know, most American fans, of course, we want to hear whether it's in Vegas or whatever. But at the same time, business-wise, I can see why if they do decide to make the fight, I can see why it would go to, you know what I'm saying, over there in the Middle East.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like if he doesn't want to take the time to unify 154, I would like to see him go up and try to get a belt at 160 and then Canelo. So I would like to see him, if you're not trying to unify, try to get a fight at 160 for May or sometime in the spring, and then try to fight Canelo in September, and then that's it.
That's facts. Yeah, I feel like it's that to me, that Canelo fight, to get the most out of it, it gotta happen on Cinco de Mayo weekend. If you want the most out of it,
September is a holiday too, though.
Which one?
That's why you fight in May and September. September is a
they got a holiday
too.
Hell yeah!
Where
you been at?
How we got
Mexican? Yeah. Cinco de Mayo, Mexican Independence Day. Yeah.
Damn. All we get is Martin Luther King Day.
They could fight on January 3rd, bro. It don't matter.
It don't matter. It really don't matter. Yeah. But yeah, when it's time to sell it, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Canelo's definitely gonna stand on those dates, whether he fights Bud or not. But those
right,
you know, he's definitely gonna stand on those dates at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, man, that's we almost had time. If anybody got any other
questions, I just want to know who y'all got in that fight.
I'm going with home team. I'm going with home team. I gotta go with Bud.
You going with the home team?
I'm going with home team. I'm going to be
Man,
biased.
I got a crazy part. Let me put it like this, because I was talking to him. He came to my city. Shout out to 50 Cent. 50 Cent had the Human Harmony weekend in Shreveport. I got Bud by stoppage, and it ain't gonna be late. It's gonna be like 9-10. It ain't gonna be 11.
That's kind of late though.
It's gonna be mid. It ain't gonna be
before championship round.
It's gonna be 9 p.m. 10 p.m.
No. Again, I think it's definitely. I feel like it's gonna be a chess match, in my opinion, because what Canelo brings to the table. Then you also do gotta bring in the size. Let's be real.
Bud said he's going blue.
No, I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying that, like, I'm giving Canelo his respect as well. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, Canelo, if you gotta look at it, it's like 1A, you know what I'm saying, 1B, whatever how they say it. So it's like one of those things where you gotta look at, because for me, I know, like I said, I've been there in the gym with Bud. I've seen him, you know, beat up on bigger guys, and I'm saying
it wasn't Canelo though.
That's not, yeah, but like I said, like I know he can hold I know he can hold his own, hold his weight. But yeah, Canelo ain't nothing to play with. Canelo ain't nothing to fuck with either. And but Bud and Bo Mac and all, they know that as well. But I respect what Bud's doing, because knowing him personally, he sees something that he feels like he can exploit. That's how Bud is. Bud is not going to do nothing.
Who you got, Naeem? How that fight play out to you?
So I don't know him personally to disagree with what you're saying, but I feel like on the outside looking in, I'm feeling like this dude's like, yo, what else can I accomplish in this sport? I've already did everything, and I'd rather take a chance. And if I lose, then I lose. But I took a chance to fight somebody else that's great. It's going to be a big payday. As far as who I think will win, I don't see him stopping Canelo, because Canelo is, you know, he a warrior. He's only been hurt one time. That was against Cotto, brother.
He got a chin though too, and he got a chin. You see him with the Golovkin fight, so I can see what you mean.
Let me
he got a chin.
Do y'all watch chin? Do anybody in here watch
chess match?
Do anybody watch Dragon Ball Z?
That's after my time.
That's all I'm gonna say. If y'all don't know anything, this is who Bud said he gonna turn into now.
Super Saiyan.
He's gonna turn into this.
Hey,
this ain't just Super Saiyan. This Super Saiyan 3.
Right. So
he's stopping him.
I feel like I feel like he
where
needs
the comments at, yo? I want to see the comments.
He need to dominate Canelo or win by stoppage to win, because the judges always picking Canelo, even when they be close. Like when he fought Bivol, he lost in the only round, and it was still kind of close. I'm like, what are they looking at? You know?
Canelo.
So
Canelo.
He's a cash cow. The judges always like they favor him no matter what.
Nah, so, Bud gonna turn up. You gonna turn up. You gonna turn up. He definitely gonna turn up. Like he be feeling the tide. I know he definitely not gonna let the tide swing that way and even have them even think, you know, it's gonna be close or whatever. So I already know how he's gonna get down. But yeah, you definitely right though. I ain't like when it comes to Canelo, I'm not saying that Canelo don't because he do be doing what he gotta do in there. But if it's close, sometimes
he winning. If it's close,
I thought he lost to Golovkin, and you see how that played out. So I get it.
He lost the second one too. I thought he lost the first and the third one. He dominated him.
Third one, definitely he dominated. He had that in the bag, hands down.
Yeah, he had a few questionable. Every boxer gonna have some questionable decisions, but sometimes with the scoring, like when he beat
Lara.
That was. I don't know about that one, but when he fought
that was close though too, in my opinion. That was a close one too.
Yeah,
he got the nod.
What's the dude that was at 175 that he beat?
Kovalev.
Oh,
Kovalev, yeah, Crusher.
So
Kovalev was winning. He was winning.
Not on the judges' cards.
I thought. I could have sworn one of them. I think I could have sworn two of them cards he was winning. I gotta go back look, but he was winning. He then got dropped. And that was it.
I felt like Kovalev was easily winning that fight. And then when he knocked him out, they said Canelo was up. I think he was up on all three cards. But I'm like, how? What are they looking at?
Canelo, man. It's just something. What I will say is Canelo over time has built this mystique about himself that even though he does have losses on his record, the judges don't treat that as such. They treat him like he's a champion in every fight. And like Jamel, you know this, when you're the champion, people got to take it from you. So I think he do get that benefit of the doubt type deal. But yeah, well, that's we gonna wrap it, man. We appreciate you for being on, Naeem. Once again, thank you for joining us. For the 182 that's in the building, we will be having on Alicia Baumgartner, Fran Chong will be stepping on with us, and David Benavidez. So make sure y'all tune in every Wednesday and every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central. And this is Bet On Yourself. It's love.